Hello everyone, I'm Angie from the Glittering Teapot Company and Wish Upon a Star. Now, some of you may know that I'm an events organiser and stylist. Tomorrow, Sasha and I are going to be styling an afternoon tea party for Easter Sunday. It's for 25 people. We've basically got everything ready to go. What I'm doing today is creating the table centerpieces, the place names and some napkin folds as well. And I thought I might share some of my tips and tricks with you, and it will give you an idea of what we'll be doing at our afternoon tea creative tablescape workshops and also our online workshops too. So if you're planning to have an afternoon tea over the Easter weekend, I hope some of these tips might come in useful. They're things I'm using that are readily available, and hopefully they won't cost too much money either. Now, I can't actually show you the finished tea party tablescape. That's really up to the host, and I would like her and her guests to be able to see that first anyway. But something else I'm going to be doing will be an Easter lunch, and I'll show you that sometime over the weekend. And I'm going to show you how my Easter lunch tablescape can be tweaked just a little bit so that it is transformed and can be used as an Easter dinner party, or if you're celebrating Passover, then it would make a lovely table setting for a Passover dinner as well. Not for Seder night, those have been and gone, and there's not much room really for centerpieces on those occasions anyway. So without further ado, let me tell you my idea for the afternoon tea table centerpiece. I thought I would use something that would be very appropriate, and so why not use a cake stand? So hopefully if you have either a 2-tier or 3-tier cake stand, this is something that you might think about doing. So I'm just going to be using this 2-tier cake stand which I've dismantled. Okay, now on the bottom tier right here, I've decided I wanted a kind of a ring of flowers with some Easter eggs as well, and so I've actually created, well, it's actually a wreath, isn't it, really, with some ivy, some flowers and some eggs. So you could either perhaps buy one of those rings where you can make the wreath yourself from Hobbycraft or Amazon, somewhere like that, or buy a ready-made one. You know, that's another idea. So that is going to form the bottom tier of the centerpiece. So let's just see if I can literally put this together now. Bear with me while I do this. Okay, so that is the bottom tier. Now, if you're using a 3-tier cake stand, then you could obviously do what I'm going to do now with the top tier, and then maybe on your top tier you can actually put some little macarons or some pastries or cakes, or even some sandwiches if you wanted to. But for this tablescape centerpiece, I'm just going to be using this 2-tier cake stand. So the next thing I'm going to do is, well, I've decided I need some Easter eggs, some bunnies and some Easter crackers. So very, very simple. But I'm going to put a little bit of moss down first. There we go. So that makes a nice little bed for the Easter eggs and the bunnies. So I'm going to use, now these are some eggs that I actually bought. They were just plain and I just painted them. So, you know, that's probably the easiest thing to do, or just buy some ready-made eggs. Now I'm going to leave the little strings on because they are meant to be hung up, and I will be using them again at some stage. So that's another reason for me using the moss. I can hopefully hide the strings. So I think we'll just put, we could choose the yellow one as well. Let's have a look. Okay. So that's just an idea. There you go. And got my little bunnies as well. Now, of course, you could use chocolate bunnies. That would be lovely, chocolate covered bunnies. So we'll do that one like that. And then perhaps this one going in a different direction. And it's as simple as that. I'm going to top it off with an Easter cracker. But what you could do, of course, is put some artificial little birds on the top or some butterflies. I think that would be lovely. And there you have it. It's my Easter afternoon tea table centerpiece. I hope you like that. And so that's my very simple table centrepiece completed. And now I'm going to be folding the napkins. Now I'm going to use a very simple napkin fold for this one. If I only had 6 or 8 people, I would do something a little bit more complicated and ornate, but this is going to be very simple as there are 25 guests. So let me show you how it looks when it's finished, and it's actually my bunny napkin fold, and it couldn't be simpler. So let me show you that next. So the first thing we're going to need, of course, is our napkin. You can use a serviette as well. I would just make sure that you use the dinner sized one rather than the small afternoon tea size ones, okay? So what we're going to do is put it down in front of us, forming the diamond shape with the point actually away from us and one point towards us like this. And then we're going to fold it in half so that we have a triangle. Okay, and then with the point of the triangle, the middle point facing towards us, we are simply going to roll it up as tightly as possible. So that couldn't be simpler. In fact, if you're doing a tea party at home, you could probably get the children to help you, because it's really as simple as this. So I've folded it up. We're just going to fold it in the middle. And there you are. It's as simple as that. That's your bunny ears napkin fold. So we're just going to secure that now. You can use a piece of twine, string. I'm just going to, for demonstration purposes, it's just easier for me to use a small rubber band. So I'll just do that and literally wrap it a couple of times. Okay. And that is it. So what you could do is, you could actually use a hard-boiled egg. Now that's the thing that I'm going to be using anyway. I've got lots of hard-boiled eggs. You can, if you want to, just get the children to paint it, or paint on the eyes and the nose and the whiskers and the mouth, and I think that would be quite sweet. What I'm going to be doing is I am going to be painting my hard-boiled eggs, and I've got one here. Those that know me know that there's going to be a little bit of bling somewhere, and so I have painted this egg with it's gold with a little bit of glitter on, and of course I've put a crystal in the middle. So what we're going to do firstly is to put a little bow. I've got a little gold bow here with actually a little charm on the end, so I'm just going to quickly put that on my napkin fold. Let's do that now. And that will need to be wrapped around a couple of times. But you could just form perhaps a ribbon and make that into a pretty bow as well, because that would be equally as nice. So I've got my bow on now with my charm, and I'm just going to put the egg in the middle, like that. And there we have it, the bunny fold. So I've got to make another 24 of these. So I'll get on with that in a minute, but that's one idea. I've got some other ideas for napkin folds, but perhaps I'll show you that at another time. So that's that. And now it's time for the place names. Now, as time is short, I'm going to do the simplest thing I can think of that would have an Easter theme, and I'm going to use either an egg cup, or I've actually got some really pretty glasses here. They're actually for schnapps, so but I think they would make really nice egg cups. One thing I always do is I always look around, and I don't always use the things I have for the purpose they're intended. So this is one occasion where I'm going to use something that isn't actually an egg cup, but I think it will work just as well. Okay, I have my painted eggs here, so we'll just put one of them in here. So if you want to just use a plain egg cup, that's fine. If you've got something else that you can think of that might work, use that. And here's one of my painted eggs, hard-boiled eggs. So we'll put that in like that. And it really is as simple as that. And then, of course, we do need to write the name on. And I think the easiest thing is to do something like this. Now, these are actually called card toppers. And I got them from Hobbycraft, okay? And I'm just going to stick, I've got these little self-adhesive little stickers on the back. So literally, all I'm going to do is put one, as I've done here, on the egg cup, and you can just write the name on. And that is my very simple place name. Got another 24 of those to do, so I'll get on with that in a second. And if you're having family and friends over during the bank holiday, well, I hope some of these tips might come in useful. Perhaps you'll try the centrepiece or the napkin folding or even the place names. I do hope so, and if you do, I would love to see some photos, so perhaps you would share them with us in the comments here under this post. But whatever you're doing, have a lovely weekend. I hope the sun shines for you. And remember, whatever you do, do it with style.